Whether you're competitive, generous, or have a more laid-back personality type, studies have found that your traits, personality traits, could be a key risk factor for some major health risks. Joining us this morning to explain are psychologist Dr. Corey Gleed and wellness entrepreneur Anna White. It's wonderful to meet you two.
Welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
think regardless of your personality type, you should be eating fruits and vegetables, which is what we were just
Absolutely.
Just to add to the healthiness.
Right,
of the
exactly.
show. But, you know, how can somebody really get a determination of what their personality type is? Because they may think they're one thing, but they're actually something else.
Well, we've all heard of type A and type B, but there's actually this type C personality that we have sort of done something with. We came across this notion of a very generous and caring team player type person and realized that actually there are a lot of health dangers that go along with this personality type.
Just because someone is born every day, and we hopefully get a new viewer every day, what exactly is a type A personality in layman's terms and a type B personality?
Sure. So actually on our website, Type C Toolbox, you can take a quiz. I
Yes.
think you guys
As I
did.
We did.
And you'll see that the answers line up very nicely with A, B, and C. So you'll get a little idea about what each one are. So type A is a person who, they all actually have pros and cons. Type A is a person who's driven and passionate, but unfortunately can often be very stressed out and isolated and be a workaholic.
I
Type
see
B-
aggressive and hostile in there. Just saying.
Type B can be someone who's laid back and flexible, but can also be so laid back that they don't actually take care of their health. And the type C, as Anna was saying, unfortunately can, well, in a good way, can be thoughtful and caring, but be so focused on other people's needs that they don't take care of themselves enough.
That's right. And burnout is the real risk for type C, just taking on way too much, doing
Right.
so much for other people and not caring for themselves.
So the C is the person who can never say no when they're asked to do something or be part of something. Is that
Exactly.
pretty much?
Exactly. And that was me. When I worked on Wall Street, I had such a hard time saying no. And in my second maternity leave, I worked all the way through.
Yeah.
And so at the end of 7 weeks, which is not enough time to begin with, to take off, I found myself in a really bad place health-wise.
What do you think is behind that type of personality, though? Why, like somebody that feels like they always have to please, they can't say no?
Well, I think it can come from a lot of places. We talk a lot about this on our website, but you know, if you grew up in an environment where you kind of had to suppress your emotions and you weren't allowed to express yourself, you may felt like you couldn't upset other people, and you may have developed a rule in your mind that says, I can't upset people, it's not safe. And so you began to focus more on other people than on yourself.
Yeah. I think in my life, I encounter people that go through various stages of their life where they are all of these types based on where they're working,
Scenario, situation.
You're right, their scenario or their family situation. But we brought you on here not to just discuss the family types. How is our personality type, or what we're being told about our personality type, how is it affected by our health, what we eat, what we may have a propensity for, based on our personalities?
Well, I think with type C, you may be so focused on other people that you're not thinking actively about your own nutrition, your own exercise, taking really good care of yourself. When you're a type B, you may be too passive. You're overindulging in things. You're not focused enough on, you know, getting yourself to the doctor. You're not focused enough on exercise and healthy living. And when you're type A, you know, there's been studies around, you know, heart issues and being so aggressive, and also the social isolation that Corey talked about.
What's the correlation also between, though, just the emotional level that each one of these categories has also impacts your health? Not so much your, in other words, not so
Your
much your
diet.
behavior, your diet, but it's probably not healthy to be a type A all the time. I would think that stress is not healthy.
Exactly, and that's actually one of the reasons why these type A, B, and C were developed, because all of them actually are very related to your emotions. The type A person is a little too emotional, very, very stressed, and that can lead to health issues. And the type B, I think, is actually probably suppressing a lot of emotions. And the type C often, unfortunately, can hold on to a lot of anger and resentment because they're doing so much for other people, and they really struggle with communicating their needs, and that has been shown to lead to migraines, insomnia, stomach issues, a lot of problems, burnout. We talk a lot about this on the website, Type C Talks.
How do you prevent then, therefore, falling into this trap? Because I also do think, like, if you know that you are a type A, that it's very easy for you to fall in line. Like, I'm type A, so I'm gonna.
That's what I do.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think step one is just being aware.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just aren't aware, especially type C. Type C people kind of have their head in the sand. And so, you know, on our website, we have a lot of strategies and tools for how do you manage around this personality type? What are some really practical things that you can do to help yourself?
That's right. And I think one of the things that's important to realize is that, as we talked about before, there are benefits and then there are drawbacks. So when you take any of them too far, and educating yourself, there's a lot of strategies about saying no that we talk about. Saying no can be a good thing. It gives you more time for yourself so that when you want to do things for other people, you have more energy. We talk a lot about expressing yourself more clearly.
Right.
You know, it can make a type C person feel very uncomfortable to say no or to ask for things. So we talk a lot about managing that.
That's right. And also saying no gives somebody else an opportunity to grow.
Right.
You may be taking away something that they could be learning from.
Right. Great information.
Fantastic
I love
information.
This.
Thank you both so
I'm
much.
going to be a
for joining
type
us.
N one day. Normal.
I like that.
There's no such thing. Thanks, ladies.